Hi, Tara Boston-Kimber here, founder and therapist with the Counseling Hub, and I want to spend some time talking about how to reach out for help because it is really, really difficult for a lot of people, and it's so asinine. Every time people come in and say they are surprised or that they're anxious about being in therapy or getting in the door, that it was hard to do, I'm surprised. I don't know. That's the asinine part. Like, why am I surprised? I hear this thing consistently. Probably because I live in the counseling and therapy world. It's just natural. I mean, it is my world. So it's not anxiety provoking in the same way as if I was new to things and I'm coming in and I'm seeking help for something. So how do we do it? So I'm going to break it down into 3 steps, and they're very, very palatable and easy to do. First and foremost is to search resources in your area. So you can do this by just Googling counseling in your city or therapy in your city, or if you're coming in for anxiety, or if you're coming in for relationship counseling, or your partner cheated, or you are dealing with existential angst or a quarter life crisis, or you need career counseling. Pick your specific topic and just type in that topic, counseling, your city, and you're going to see a whole host of people that pop up. So one website to go to in particular is psychologytoday.com. You can filter so you type in your zip code first to find a therapist, and then you filter the search results to include, just click on the topic that you're wanting to come in for, or the couple of topics that you're wanting to come in for. You can also filter by insurance, so that's an important thing for people who want to go through insurance, or to find clinicians who accept the insurance that you're on. So that's one thing. And I would say just start reading profiles, and you can get a feel for who these people are, how they show up, so you get a tiny little taste of who they are based on their profile. And if it's done well, then you really get a feel for what they focus on and what they specialize in. And that can help people. That can help alleviate some anxiety about getting in the door, just knowing, okay, this person really focuses on this topic and that's exactly what I need. Boom. So that's one thing. I would also say, so number 2 is not just like search in your area. So number 1 is search in your area, find out what resources / people there are. Number 2 is go to websites and see if there's anybody in your area who blogs, or what their websites include, what information they include. See if they have any reviews, either on Google or Facebook. Business page, not their personal profile, but like a Facebook business page. Or try to, can help you to feel better if you have a read, or at least to some extent have a read on the person who you're seeking out services, or potentially are going to seek out services for. So that's number 2. The third thing I would say is to shoot an email. So I know a lot of people are freaked out by phone calls. I like phone calls because you can get a lot of information relayed in a shorter amount of time. And if you can't tell, I like to talk. And I like to talk to people, not just to myself. So I think that emails can do that, but I think phone calls in particular, but most people don't like the phone. So my point is the third point, really. So how do I get in the door? Just shoot some emails to people, or make some phone calls and see, like, hey, this is what I would be interested in coming in for. I want to hear back from you. Here's a few questions that I have. I've never done this before. I'm feeling kind of anxious, etc. You can just say those things, and you can ask, is there, maybe, like, this isn't a request that I think I've ever gotten, but potentially, like you say, can I just swing by and see where your office is, just to make myself feel a little better? I mean, I think there are ways. Could we have a 15-minute phone call where I just talk to you to make sure that I feel at least a little bit comfortable with you, and I can ask you some questions before coming in? I love talking to clients before they get in the door, because especially if it's your first time and you've never done anything like this before, you probably have a lot of questions, and each therapist does things a little bit differently. So I would say it is important that you have some time to connect a tiny little bit with a counselor ahead of time, and then also get any questions that you have answered. And I will leave you with one story. So therapists see therapists. Like therapists go to therapy if that's not uncommon, or if that's not a known thing, it is a true thing. And so I moved cities and I was looking for a new therapist in my area, and I called somebody, and they were friendly and they were nice, but at the time I think insurance through a different, it doesn't matter, but I was going to use insurance. And when I called, I remember saying like, hey, I am a therapist in the area, and that kind of comes with some weight because most therapists don't like to see therapists. Not most, but it's a little, not for everybody. I'm comfortable with it, but I know some people aren't comfortable with it. It feels just feels intense in some ways. So I was calling. I wanted to let this person know, like, hey, I am a therapist in the area. I just want to get a feel for if, I want to get a feel for you, if we're going to be a good fit. And she focused heavily on, well, what insurance do you have? And okay, well, this is my next session availability. And are you going to use insurance? And okay, well, what insurance do you have? And it was just, I was trying to like ask a question or two, and I was not taking up a lot of time. I mean, the conversation was less than 5 minutes, maybe it was just 2 or 3, and she didn't have an intake coordinator because I would have gladly talked to the intake coordinator. So huge turn off, and I did not show up for that. I didn't even schedule a session. I think I was like, well, let me just check and I'll get back to you, and I just never returned the call because I did not feel as if there was any sort of there was no interest in me as a person. It was mostly just the financial piece. So maybe that's the 4th point. That's what happens when I talk. There becomes 4th point. So to help you get in the door, I would say, or to help you to approach therapy or counseling, I would say one thing to keep in mind is when you are reaching out to people, do you feel valued? Do you feel seen? Do you feel cared for? Do you feel heard, etc.? As much as possible through email. But do you feel like responded to, and like this therapist or counselor is taking time to make sure that I feel comfortable coming in, because it is really important that you do feel cared for whenever you come in the door for therapy. So that's all for today, folks. I will see you, I don't know, I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.